Dear students, welcome to USS Daily Class English part. A fox said to a cat, I am very clever. I know many ways of dodging my enemies. The cat smiled and said, I know only one way. Just then they heard dogs barking and saw hunters coming. The cat climbed a tree and hid in its branches. The fox began to think, what should he do? How should he escape? He could not make up his mind. It was now too late. The dogs and the hunters got the fox. Question number one. One day a fox said a cat that he is he is foolish, clever, beautiful, none of this. Yes, correct answer is he is clever. Then question number two. The cat smiled to hear the fox because what the fox said was funny. The dogs were known to her. He knew the best way of escaping. None of this. Which is the correct answer? He knew the best way of escaping is the correct answer. Then question number three. The fox was clever, proud, simple, none of this. The correct answer is the fox was proud. Then question number four. How did the cat escape? By climbing a tree, by running, by hiding, none of this. The correct answer is by climbing a tree. Fox escaped by climbing a tree. Then fifth question. What happened to the then fifth question. What happened to the fox at last? Caught by the dogs and hunters, escaped, killed, none of this. Which is the correct answer? The correct answer is caught by the dogs and hunters. Activity number 2. Why is it easier to swim in salt water than in fresh water? The answer depends wholly on the heaviness of our bodies as compared with the heaviness of the water. Our bodies are more than 3/4 water, but most of the rest is heavier than water and so helps us to float. Now, fresh water is less heavy than salt water and so our bodies, though only a little heavier than it, tend to sink in it. Ordinary seawater is heavier than fresh water because it contains a lot of salts melted in it. Just as the water of our own bodies does, so we find it easier to float and swim in seawater. But in some parts of the world, there is water that is much saltier than even seawater. This in the case, for instance, in the Dead Sea, there are some liquids much lighter than water. And if a man were to fall into a lake of one of them, he could not swim at all. However good a swimmer he was, for his body would sink like a stone. Now we are going to questions. Question number 1. Our body contains more than dash of water. 1/3, 2/3, 3/4. None of these. Which is the correct answer? Our body contains more than 3/4 of water. Then question number 2. Seawater is dash than fresh water. Seawater is heavier than fresh water, lighter, brighter, and none of these. Seawater is heavier than fresh water is the correct answer. Then, why don't we sink in the Dead Sea? Next question, why don't we sink in the Dead Sea? Because it is much saltier than the seawater. Because it is much lighter than the seawater. Because it is fungi. Because it is with fungi. None of this. Which is the correct answer? Because it is much saltier than the seawater is correct answer. Then question number 4. We could not swim in a pool full of a liquid lighter than water. Why? Because our body sink in lighter water. Because we float in lighter water. Because our body becomes stiff. None of this. The correct answer is because our body sink in lighter water. Then fifth question. It is easier to swim in salt water than in dash water. It is easier to swim in salt water than in dash water. Options: cold water, fresh water, hot water, and none of these. Which is the correct answer? Fresh water is correct answer. It is easier to swim in salt water than in fresh water. Activity number 3. William Rudolph was an American athlete. She was born before the due time. She weighed only 2.04 kilo at birth. She was very weak. At the age of 4, she had an attack of polio. Her left leg became useless. She was in bed for 2 years. First, she walked with braces. Then, she used special shoes. Slowly, her legs got stronger. She started playing basketball. She played for her school team. A coach helped her to become a sprinter. In the 1956 Olympics, her team won the bronze medal for 4 into 100 meters relay. In the 1960 Olympics, she won 2 gold medals. Question number 1. Who was William Rudolph? An American athlete, an African athlete, an American athlete, a Chinese athlete. None of this. Who was William Rudolph? William Rudolph, an American athlete. How much did she weigh at birth? 2.04, 5 kilograms, 3, none of these. Apo, how much did she weigh at birth? 2.04 is correct answer. For how many years she was bedridden? 5, 3, 2. None of these. 2 years is correct answer. How many gold medals did she win in the 1960 Olympics? 2, 1, 3. None of these. She won the 2 gold medals in 1960 Olympics. What did her team win for the 1956 Olympics? What did her team win for the 1956 Olympics? Gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, none of this. It is bronze medal. Correct answer is bronze medal. Activity number 4. Malaria is a dangerous disease. This dreadful disease is caused by mosquitoes. Therefore, the best way to get rid of malaria is to get rid of mosquitoes. In other words, damp or wetland helps mosquitoes. This is not because the land is damp, but because the stagnant water is the breeding place of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes begin their life as a larva in the water which does not flow. Malaria does not often occur in dry desert countries because mosquitoes cannot breed there. Therefore, the way to destroy mosquitoes is to stop them from breeding in stagnant water. How can we do it? It can be done by draining all dirty ponds and pools. Another way of preventing their growth is by keeping the still water covered by spraying kerosene. Kerosene spreads like a thin film on the surface of the water. Thus, the larvae do not get air and as a result, they die. Question number 1. Which insect causes malaria? Rat, mosquito, termite, none of these. Mosquito is the causes malaria. Mosquito is the correct answer. What helps the mosquitoes to breed? Damp or wetland, dry land, stagnant water. None of these. Stagnant water is correct answer. How does a mosquito begin its life? As a fly, as a larva, as a tadpole? None of this. How does mosquito begin its life? As a larva. How can we prevent the spreading of mosquito? Options: by spraying kerosene, by spraying DDT, by spraying naphthalene, none of these. By spraying kerosene is correct answer. Question number 5. How do kerosene kill mosquitoes? By preventing air, by preventing water, by preventing carbon dioxide, and none of this. By preventing air is the correct answer. Thank you.